Friday morning, 8:30. Good morning. This is the WLBB Community Voice program on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. Our first Community Voice program in about 2 weeks. Had to cancel previous programs, I guess, over the last 9 days or so, just because we did get struck by lightning. And little by little, we're trying to put this little radio station back together. This week, we were able to get back on FM and AM, and I believe we're streaming as well. But we held out. We held out for the show this morning. Brought in District 5 Commissioner Ernie Reynolds. Less than a month ago, Reynolds held up the 2023-24 budget signing, the official signing, because he said he had some concerns regarding the operations from the previous year. And among his concerns, he pointed out that 3 positions had received significantly higher raises than most people, or than the majority of Carroll County. Here to talk about that and much, much more, District 5 Commissioner Ernie Reynolds. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you, Colin.
That meeting, unfortunately, I don't think that one was streamed, right? We had a special call meeting, so we didn't stream that one. Yeah, Joel Brock, who normally does that, so we didn't get to see that. So I called, the commission communications director that night and said, "Hey, did you guys pass the budget?" "Yes, we did," and gave me a couple of tips. The next day, you said, "Hey, Colin, I want to talk. How come I'm not on the show?" I said, "Well, Ernie, you come on the show anytime you want to," and we were able to schedule it for today, and fortunately stick to it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go back. What were your concerns? I mean, it was enough of a concern to where you said, hey, let's delay approving the budget. I mean, the budget was approved eventually, and it will kick in Saturday officially, so that's not a problem. But you did make some, you were pretty strong about some points you had and some feelings you had on that. So talk about those.
Well, first of all, if I can, with July 4 around the corner, I want to give a shout out to veterans, and I know personally what they contribute and the cost. My dad was in the Korean War and or Korean conflict, whatever you want to call it, and died a few years later via some impacts from that primarily. And so I grew up. Give you some personal information here that not a lot of people know, but I grew up without a dad, and so my whole childhood, my mom raised me from 3 years old on, and we went through some struggles. So a shout out to families out there who, we say freedom isn't free, but a lot of times families pay significant costs, and things like that happen, all to keep our freedom. So thanks to all you veterans out there. I still miss my dad, but he gave the sacrifice. And I want to also give a shout out to families. Families are a core, the integral part of our social network, and strong families, parents, single men and women who raise their families and go to work every day. There are a lot of struggles out there, and emotional and financial and so on, and my heart goes out to them. And the stronger we can make our families in a community, the better the community will be. And so I just want to give a shout out to families, and also tell you just another bit of personal information. My favorite song, aside from some spiritual hymnal songs, would be the song "Lean on Me." Lean on me when you're not strong, and you need a friend.
You know who sings that, Ernie?
Somebody to lean on.
Do you know who the first singer of that was?
No.
Oh, gosh, Ernie. Bill Withers from West Virginia, by the way.
Okay, West Virginia.
So put
Good.
that in your back pocket.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to say, I think, for being a person that others can lean on. That's one of the reasons that I, after retirement from the state auditor's office, I got into this commissioner's stuff because I wanted to help people. I wanted to help them navigate government, and be someone that they could lean on to help them through their problems. I hope I have been, but primarily my core is to take care of my family and to be there for them, and I just love encouraging others to do the same thing. So having said that, I would also like to say that our law enforcement, I just read the other day, last week, I believe, on the 22nd, when again our sheriff deputy was going to pull somebody over, and then they chased him down a road there by Walmart, and the deputy got shot at several times and so on. And I just think these are folks unlike myself. I mean, they run toward danger to keep us out of danger, and so a shout out to them. I do have a nursing license and an EMT license, and or I did have. It's not active anymore, but during my college 20-year-old days, and so I have a lot of empathy to them and for the public safety and healthcare professions.
All right, Ernie, I appreciate the adoration you're sharing, and I think we try to do that too on this station, and the community's really good. But come on, man, we got 24 minutes now.
I got you.
To get all this
so I'm glad to talk with what we did for county employees, both in the 2023 remaining funds and then in the new fiscal year 24 budget.
That's a pretty big deal. That's,
yeah. And one thing, like we have a great board. We work well together. We accomplish a lot, and we address significant issues, and we work in unity. And I don't want to detract from that, but there was some things that I heard that the chairman explained, and I do want to clarify that because it's just not correct from what I heard, but I don't want to beleaguer the point. But county employee wages have been on the low side for a long time. We have great benefits, but our wages are on the low side, and I can relate to that. I had a 34-year career, like I say, with the state auditor's office, state government, and our wages were always low. In fact, one of my main person there came from Anderson Consulting, and she was a jam-up person that I could trust to do the work tremendously, but she told me there's no way that you can raise me to the level that I made at Anderson Consulting. So it's just one of the things. We have a lot of stability in government as far as employment, but our wages aren't always there, and our salary studies in the past have shown that. So we've tried to do recently a lot to raise those wages, but we do have a lot of unfilled positions in the county. Last count, I think there were 58, and they go throughout the county. I mean, from correctional officers who can't, they don't exist, so our trash isn't getting picked up and that kind of thing.
So there's money already put in the budget then, like in the current, but there's money in the budget already for all of those positions?
There is. The unfilled positions are funded, and hopefully we can recruit. But that's one reason. Like we raised wages, and our goal as a board is to provide for all county employees. So that was one thing, or the primary thing that it was disheartening, or disappointing that the chairman did some favoritism, I guess you could call it, that to a handful of county employees and gave some unfair wage increases. I mean, we're moving on now, and it's not a huge deal moving on, but those kind of things are things that you don't do because it is a primary. It negatively affects morale, and when you have raises of 16%, 27%, and 39%, and they equate to raises of more than $10,000 a year, $12,000 a year, and nearly $24,000 a year. And the other 600, 700 county employees got $1 an hour or $2,080.
Now,
So
I've had a lot of discussion about that afterwards. I mean, probably for
Yeah.
2 weeks. I mean, after
Yeah.
after those meetings. I mean, because there were
Yeah.
some frustration with that. Some people who seem to be called out. The positions that you pointed out, they were all occupied by females, by women, and I believe Ms. Morgan at one of the meetings pointed that out to you.
Well, there were a handful, and I mean, I don't really care. There could have been, Richard, Ralph, and Jim. It doesn't matter to me.
But there were other
So,
positions that received significant raises too that you didn't point out.
There were some. The director of public works got a significant raise. That was a little different situation, but our public works director left. The person who was put in that position was in a lower position and assumed that those new responsibilities and so on. And we didn't either have a direct role in that.
And I thought, I did think that was obvious. I mean, that makes sense in that. But then I look at the solid waste director. You called her out too, but she was in a similar position because they broke off once Charles Pope left.
Well, not really a similar position in that.
Why not?
She was in that role under as the manager of solid waste, and then she became then the director. The role didn't really change. I mean, we can debate that, but the role was the same. It's just that the title changed from manager to director, and you get a $24,000 raise for that, nearly, and other folks, who were promoted. Likewise, I can think of one example in other departments, and they get like 5% raise. So 5% compared to nearly 39% is a stark difference. So those are things that
commissioners got a raise too.
The governor,
and it was more than 5%, right? It was $5,000.
The $5,000 came from the state, and that was the governor gave $5,000 across the board to all state employees, and I really don't know the technicalities of how that got to the commissioners, but yes,
it's basically a part-time position. I mean, I know some people think that you put full-time into it, but I mean, it's a public service, so it is a part-time position. I mean, was that fair? I mean, for you guys to get $5,000 extra?
Well, it was an automatic $5,000 from the state, so I don't know. I mean, you'd have to take that up with the governor, I guess.
I guess since you knew that and you brought it up, I mean, since you knew that you got the $5,000 raise and you brought it up to other people, I just, it saddened me. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I appreciate people being a watchdog and paying attention to what's going, on with our taxpayers' money. I just, just to see that, I just hope there wasn't some sort of friction within the Board of Commissioners at this point. But I tell you what, the first thing I did think of after I talked to you is like, is this guy wanting to run for chairman?
Well, I thought you might bring that up, but let me postpone that comment. Let me just say that when you have raises like this versus a $2,000 raise, it creates angst, and it's a big no-no in executive leadership.
But you guys saw it. I mean, she presented those to you guys.
No, Colin,
voted on
that's really the only reason I'm here. Not like I say, I don't want to beleaguer the point, but from what you told me earlier, there was. First of all, we did not know. It was something that was single-handedly done. The chairman did not let us know, and I think as the leader of a board, especially in local government, you need to promote transparency and accountability. There's a lot of distrust and fake news and that kind of thing in government now. We hear it at the federal level, and we don't need to promote that at the local level. And this isn't the only situation where there have been some single-handed secret decisions and things made, and we find out about them later. I mean, the USDA office and its situation was a debacle, and we found out about that also. So, I mean, but I don't want to get into all that. This isn't a place to get into.
Well, I mean,
all
it kind of
that,
is. I mean, that's what got the show motivated. But let me ask you this. One more thing, and hell, I may have already forgot about. Oh no, that's her job, isn't it, as chairman? I mean, isn't that what she's been elected? I mean, to have that confidence to make those decisions. I mean, it's not in the charter.
Day-to-day business is her decision. Yes, we fund the budget, and when we fund the budget, and we think that we put a lot of effort into trying to be fair to all county employees, and when we find out that things are done without us knowing about it, then it doesn't taste good. And I do want to say,
well, how did you find out about it then?
Well, I'll straighten out this misleading or manipulative, I guess, presentation that somehow got out that she did inform us. Mm-hmm. So, amazingly enough, the document that you showed me was not a document that the chairman gave to us to tell us that these are the raises proposed. We never saw that sheet, but I hear that she presented that sheet as documentation to you that we were informed. Ironically enough, that sheet is the sheet that I requested months after.
And I did see, it was months after, but why?
So,
where did you find out? Why did you ask at that point?
Well, I'm, I guess, I come from a career in a watchdog agency, and I have was a certified fraud examiner and certified government financial manager, and so you just kind of wonder sometimes at the appropriate time what might be going on. I just happened to be curious, and I wondered after we voted as a board for the $1 an hour raise, $2,000 to all county employees, what actually happened. So I went to HR, requested the information, and HR put together the spreadsheet that was given to you. Like I say, that was months afterward. That is not a document that should have been used to say, see, I told the board all about it on the front end. That did not happen. We were not informed. And that's one reason that this is an issue. So
I do want to give you a chance, because I mean, there's something that you're pretty proud about as far as that $500,000 in the budget, because I guess commissioners believe we have a significant rainy day balance, and took $500,000 out of there to go towards debt. And when you and I talked, I mean, did we debt, is that like bonds from SPLOST or?
Yeah, exactly. Now we left it up as far as exactly what debt obligation that would be applied to. That the chairman and Alicia, the fiscal officer, can determine that, but it's $500,000 to go against debt where we're paying interest.
Well, this will lead into another story. We'll talk about the tax assessor notices that were put out this month. Yeah, we'll do that after this break. But I mean, I guess consider that $500,000, and you see how everybody was frustrated that their taxes are not going up. They're not going up at this point. I mean, that document did not suggest their taxes were going up, but you saw how frustrated they were at that potential. So, maybe why didn't that $500,000 just go back to the taxpayers?
Well, that is it's a fair question, but we felt that it would be better used as a board to go against debt that we had already incurred, and to pay that down. We do have a good nest egg, as everyone knows, but we also have some big, particularly the admin building coming up, and some big costs that we feel like a 4 to 6 month reserve of cash is not, and that's according to the Association of County Commissioners. That's a good cushion and an acceptable cushion to have. So
All right, we need to take our first break here. Typically we'd have about 9 minutes left in this show, but I think we're going to go over to 9:06 this morning.
Good, man.
Yeah, one reason is because still haven't got our satellite fixed for our national news at the top of the hour, so we'll go ahead and bleed over to 9:06, but we do need to take our first break right now, Josh.
Okay.
So, Josh, we will stick around till 9:06 if you're cool with that. All right. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
The Entrepreneur Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in business and leadership. Critical areas include identifying entrepreneurial characteristics, selecting a value position, and business model development. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
All right, 8:51. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. My name is Colin Worthington. Our guest this morning is Ernie Reynolds. He is District 5 Commissioner for the County of Carroll. Kind enough to join us on this morning, revisiting some things that happened over the last month. But as far as that budget, I mean, very important thing. There's a couple things that you wanted to make sure that we touched on.
I wanted to summarize what happened then with the budget. So for fiscal year 23, the additional funds, and then for fiscal year 24 as well. So for fiscal year 23, the board provided $2.5 million for county employee bonuses. That was to incentivize our employees to keep them, because, like I say, we have a problem with unfilled positions.
60 positions, that's a lot.
Yeah, and so that's $500,000 more than what the chairman proposed. So we were glad that we could put $2.5 million in there for county employee bonuses, and all county employees should have received that by now.
Is there retention bonuses in there too?
Yeah,
I mean, is that what the bonuses are? The retention?
Right.
Okay, I got you.
Right. And then for fiscal year 24, we, as a board, voted and passed a $2 an hour pay raise across the board for all county employees, and that's what we want to do, is to address, adequate raises for all county employees. I should note that the chairman did vote against that fiscal year 24 budget and raise, but there were 4 of us district commissioners that voted for it, and we also voted that the chairman implement a process to inform us in writing before giving raises of 10% or more to any county employee. So,
now, do you have to change the charter for that?
No, that was just an agreement. The charter does give the chairman authority to set compensation for all county employees. Mm-hmm. So that's it. I mean, we can't require. But we can request to be informed.
Say,
yeah. So since we weren't informed before that, and I think now moving forward, we're all in a good position. This is behind us, and we can move forward. So this being fair to all county employees, not getting drunk on power, and being accountable and transparent, and informing the board of material things is a good principle, and I think moving on, we'll be in good shape. Overall, the fiscal year 24 budget is an increase of $6 million, or about 9% from the prior year fiscal year 23 budget. But of that $6 million, 70%, or about $4.2 million, went for the $2 an hour raises to all county employees. So we are taking care of our county employees, and we're forging on, and we have a tight but reasonable budget for fiscal year 24, and we do realize that the economy is slowing down some, and construction is slowing down some. Interest rates keep going up, and the Feds just said they were going to raise it some more, and so on. So we're not being
steady right now, but they're going to raise. Yeah, eventually.
Right. Right. Yeah. So we do need to keep an eye on that, and not pretend like we have a lot of money to do things with. Each of us are, I feel, very good stewards, and each of us have a common mindset of being frugal in the county, but at the same time taking care of all our county employees.
Before we talk about the tax assessors,
right.
the notices they come out, there was a gentleman in our studio a couple minutes ago. He said, "Hey, Ernie, you didn't really answer that question about if you're going to run for chairman or not."
Oh yeah, and there are several people that have asked me that. This has nothing to do with that. I would raise the issue whether or not I was, but to answer that question specifically, no. At this time, I mean, I don't know what could change my mind, but I don't have a role
intention.
I hope to do that.
Is the District 5 race the same time that the chairman's race is?
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tax assessment notices. We all received those, and their property owners received those in the mail earlier this month. And as usual, people see that and they see what their projected tax
projected
tax that they would pay. They see that number and they're all flipping out. And you can see it on social media, and I'm sure they're calling your offices and reaching out to you. But just have to remind people that is just an estimate based on the previous year's millage rate.
Right.
Carroll County Board of Commissioners will vote on a millage rate in just a couple months.
Yeah.
Carroll County School Board will vote on a millage rate, and I believe they're set for July to do that. Now, the rollback, if they roll it back, the government sets a number that says, hey, if you roll your millage rate this far back, you will probably not collect a significant amount of additional taxes from taxpayers. So that's why they're encouraged to do the rollback. Maintaining the millage rate, although some government bodies, they'll brag about it, hey, we haven't raised the millage rate for 50 years or whatever, but they're still collecting additional revenue if they don't follow that rollback.
Right.
When you guys, the Carroll County Board of Commissioners, has the chance to approve the millage rate, to vote on it, I did talk to the chairman, and she said she's going to recommend a rollback. Is that something you would support?
Oh, I've said, and I put on my Facebook page, I don't know when it was, a week or two ago, that yes, I am for a rollback again. I will say that best I recall, each year that I've been on the board, we have rolled back the millage rate.
Full rollback?
No, it hasn't been a full rollback.
Okay, because there's partial rollbacks too, and it's
right.
And people in offices, whether it's the Board of Education or commissioners, it seemed like for the last 10 years, every time that they approach that millage rate, some people will say, hey, it's only a little bit of money. We're not getting much just by maintaining it. But when you put that on top of each other for 10 years in a row, it does become a significant amount of money.
Right. Our millage rate now is 7.58. I believe when I took office, it was above 8. So I am glad that we have rolled it back. But I would like to just inform folks, there are two things. And like you mentioned, the school board and I they are a separate. We have nothing to do with their operation. I mean, they have a separate board.
Budgets, and it's double, but maybe it's not double. But
yeah, and their budget is set by them, and they operate totally independently from the Board of Commissioners, and that. At the bottom of your estimate or tax bill, you will see that there's a school board millage rate. It's around 17.5, I believe. And then there's the Board of Commissioners controlled county operations millage rate. That's, like I mentioned, 7.58. But the school board is totally separate and a distinct taxing authority. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that the county doesn't decide to all of a sudden assess properties. This is a state requirement. The Department of Revenue at the state.
The county missed out on it for several years.
Yeah, and we got fined because of that.
Yeah.
And so the Department of Revenue says every county is required to reassess all their properties, and they want the counties to end up at a assessment value of 40% of actual sales data. And if that doesn't happen, I mean, you can vary a little bit, maybe 38, 39%, but if you get too low, then you are subject to a fine from the state. So this isn't something that the county has decided. The County Board of Tax Assessors, which I am proud of, and I'm also proud of our county tax assessor's office. Hubert Sparks, the chief tax appraiser there, is very customer service oriented, and I'm glad for what he's doing, but they're very knowledgeable of the situation. But they operate because the state requires it, and the Georgia Department of Audits, in fact, comes in every year and audits whether or not they have assessed properties
National
at that required rate.
And the
so
local stories
it's not something that we just
you want to take that off of manual on auto there, Josh. Change that to manual, that button in the left-hand corner. Okay. All right, Ernie. We I do want to take this final break so we can come back and talk about the tax allocation district.
Oh, yeah.
Just as we're going to take our final break right now. Community Voice is brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
9:02 Community Voice Program, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3. Got 4 minutes left with District 5 Commissioner for Carroll County, Ernie Reynolds. If you missed any of this program, it'll be in podcast form, newstalk1330.com here in just a little bit. Also, it's on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. 4 minutes, Ernie. Last night, Carroll County Board of Commissioners had a special call meeting to discuss the tax allocation districts. Approved joining up with Carrollton, and that one you spoke fondly of from the start when it was presented. Mm-hmm. But last year, you weren't such a fan of the one that Villa Rica presented,
right.
Tax allocation district.
Exactly.
And you suggested that your constituents didn't want that as well. Mm-hmm. But you voted in favor of it yesterday for Villa Rica. Mm-hmm. So what changed?
I'll tell you that. Let me go back and two quick points about
3 minutes.
So on these assessments, there is in Carroll County, unlike many counties, we do have a floating homestead exemption, so that for your primary residence, the floating homestead exemption should offset the increase in inflationary values.
But you need to do it. If you do it now, it'll take care of you next year. It's already too late to do it for this year.
Exactly. And then Carroll County, unlike many other counties, also has the over 65 or 65 and older exemption. So look into that as well. That eliminates your school taxes, which is significant. So on to these TADs. So yes, as far as the Carrollton TAD, I was in favor of that. Carrollton TAD involves no bonds. We will benefit, the county will benefit revenue-wise from sales taxes and that kind of thing. We don't have to give up our base either of property tax, and so it's a win-win. My constituents, of course, come to Carrollton for recreation and entertainment and restaurants and so on, and this can do nothing but benefit my district without a cost. There's no negative to it.
Villa Rica does have the bond.
Villa Rica does have the bond, and I was adamantly opposed, and I said yesterday I was adamantly opposed to the Villa Rica TAD when this came about, a year and a half ago or something. It would suck revenue from my district and all the other districts and put it right up there at Villa Rica, and that was a huge...
That's how you felt about the initial proposal.
Right.
As far as the one that was approved by commissioners last night, I know Clint Chance said that county residents, unincorporated county residents will not be on the hook for anything, right? It won't affect their...
Right. So now what changed was, and it was a primary result from Commissioner Chance's tireless work on this. He has put a lot of effort into this and worked with the city of Villa Rica, and I'm very thankful for that. Yes, for two reasons primarily. I voted in favor of the Villa Rica TAD now because it no longer is a revenue detriment to the county for several reasons, but
Ernie, I'm going to cut you off, but
Yeah.
if you want, I mean, Ernie did discuss that a lot last night during the Board of Commissioners meeting, and
Yeah.
I think that meeting's available on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, so go back if you
Right.
want to get more on that.
Right.
We've got many people taking off this weekend, so I hope everybody has a great weekend, safe weekend. Definitely be safe. We'll be back here Monday morning with the WLBB Community Voice program. Tuesday, we'll be off, though. And then Vicki Bearden is on the program.
Oh, good.
Yeah, tax commissioner. She'll be on the program Wednesday. So we hope to catch you then. Have a great weekend, everybody.